Okay, so for this video I'm going to cover Samus's movement. This is intended for beginners. If you play through this game even a time or two casually, you're probably going to know most of what I'm about to tell you. But people miss different things, so I'm going to cover everything. There should be timestamps in the description of this video, so if you're looking for anything specific you can probably find it there. Now, first of all, the jumps. If you're walking and you're jumping while holding sideways, you're going to do this spin jump. Now the thing about the spin jump is that it's harder to control than a straight jump, because you can't stop your sideways momentum in the air. Just like in TMNT, you're going to always be moving one direction or the other. If I'm just tapping backwards, she changes directions and she keeps moving. If you do a straight jump, you can move and adjust a little bit in the air, just like when you're playing Mega Man. There's no actual momentum in just moving pixels like this. This means that you should use your straight jump as much as possible, honestly. It's the best jump. So if you're playing this game a lot, you should get used to stopping like this and then instantly pressing the jump button so you do a straight jump. This is easier when you want to shoot things, when you want to do precise jumps. It's easier to read her hitbox when you're doing a straight jump too, if you want to get exactly on top of the ledge. But when she's spinning, her hitbox extends a little bit below her the bottom of her sprite, and because you're spinning, it's hard to read. So use your straight jump as much as possible. Now for the shots. What you're usually doing is you mash B to shoot, like this. If you hold B, she does a single shot and then she starts auto-firing. Now the auto-firing is kind of useless because as soon as you move, it restarts. And it's not really that rapid. What you can do is hold B and press and release any other button. This is especially useful when you're using the forward button, because you're going to fire a shot every time you press and every time you release the other button. So you can fire incredibly quickly like this. This helps you kill enemies faster, which again helps you avoid taking damage. You can do this in the air as well, and you should. It doesn't only apply for the sideways buttons. You can do it with the jump button. Of course, this shorts your jump, but you can do this on the way down if you want to. If you want to stand still and auto fire on your way down, you can just mash A on your way down. You can aim upwards and press the diagonals like this to auto fire back and forth. This is very useful for killing enemies that come down on you, so that you can kill them before they reach you. Especially with the flies that take a lot of hits, you can actually kill them before they reach you. Now, the up aim is a bit weird in this game, because as soon as you aim up, she won't let go of it until you land. So you can't do an up shot and then do a sideways shot in the same jump. It's also worth noting that if you press diagonally up, she won't aim upwards. You have to do a clean up input. But if you jump up like this and you mash B, the shots are going to stack up in front of her, so you can kill something pretty quickly when you're jumping up at it, like this. A quirk about the sideways, the spin jump, is that Samus doesn't if you jump sideways and you change your direction, Samus doesn't actually move around. See how she lands and she's still facing left? This also applies for shots. If you turn around in the air and you fire a shot, it goes to the direction you faced when you started your jump. Now the second shot will go the way you want to, or the way you're moving, I should say. But this makes it harder to shoot what you want to when you're spin jumping, so use your straight shots whenever you can to avoid this. But if you're climbing the block tower and you're doing spin jumps, you're going to have to fire extra shots to clear the blocks, like this. Now, about this rapid firing, there's a big backside to it, and that's when you get the ice beam, and your excitement over getting the ice beam quickly turns to disappointment when you start doing unintentional double shots and you're unfreezing the enemies again, and you get hit. You know, you jump up and you hit something and you expect it to freeze and it doesn't freeze and it comes back to hit you. This is because you're moving sideways in the air while you're holding B. Now you can avoid this, but it takes some practice. The best way to hit enemies in the air is to do a straight jump. Let's get this guy. You do a straight jump, you don't move sideways, and you do a single shot on your way down. You don't really have to flick it, you just kind of press it and make sure you don't hold it long enough to start auto firing. This is your best controlled shot in the air. Now sometimes you do want to move sideways while shooting, and what you do then is you press and hold the sideways button before you press the fire button, like this, to make sure there's no movement on the D-pad while you're holding the B button. If you jump and you fire and then you move sideways, you're going to do double shots or even triple shots. And if you adjust your jump, you're going to do more shots. Now for the unmorph mechanics, this is my favorite part of the game. Samus can double jump in the midair like this. If you roll to a ball and you roll off a ledge and you unmorph and jump, she jumps in midair. The caveat here is that if you do any sideways inputs between the unmorph and the jump, it won't work. So you can't unmorph, move sideways, or even graze sideways and then jump in the midair. It takes away your jump. So make sure you let completely go of the D-pad. Now this, on first glance, this seems like, this doesn't really seem that useful, but it's universally useful throughout the game. It helps you move around enemies in ways that you couldn't otherwise. Like this. You can use it to pick up items that you otherwise wouldn't reach. This works. There we go. And it helps you move under enemies, like this. So I suggest, even for a casual player, you practice your unmorph jumps and you apply them throughout the game. They're great. Now, you can unmorph with up or with A, and both have merits. If you unmorph with up, you're going to aim upwards. So if you want to unmorph and then shoot something over here, you have to use your A button. It's also easier to avoid doing sideways inputs when you're using the A button, because you're letting go of the D-pad completely. On the other hand, Notice how her jump height out of Morph varies. It's out of your control. I don't know if it's a frame rule thing or if it's decided by how many frames pass between the unmorph and the jump. That's my impression, but I don't know. I don't know how it works. What I do know though is that whenever I want to make sure that I reach a good height, I use the I unmorph with up, because I can do this in a quick succession, and it doesn't always give me a great height, but it never gives me a very bad height. So it's more consistent to me like this. If I have to do an unmorph with A and I want to reach a good height, I wait a split second before I hit it again. I usually get a bad height if I do quick taps, but it's unreliable. So yeah, you have to I don't know, just pray, I guess. I don't know. But when you want to reach a good height, use your up and A. At least it works for me. Now you can use your unmorph to cancel your bounce. This is useful if you want to regain control, because if there are enemies down here and you want to be ready to fire, you can go like this and you're ready to go. If you're falling down the shaft and you're bouncing like this, you're spending time, so it's also a speedrun technique where you... Let's see now. Actually, let's go to this place right here. Yeah, that's it. I can save some time by avoiding this ledge, because when you unmorph, your downward momentum stops and you can avoid things. It gives you a little bit of extra control if you roll and then fall. I might want to use this here to... Oops. Maybe I want to avoid hitting an enemy that I'm about to fall on top of. It gives you a little bit of... Yeah, you can cancel your fall for a little second. And of course here, if I were to bounce here, even if I don't hit an enemy, it spends some extra time. So it's faster to unmorph, but it's kind of niche, but it looks really good, I think. When you fall and you cancel your bounce like this, it just looks slick. And it's fun. Now for bomb jumps, bombs in general. I'm going to teach you how to do a single bomb jump. I'm not good with the doubles, and I don't think I want to get into it. Even the people who are very good at them hate doing them. That's my impression anyway. Just like the unmorph jump, if you place a bomb, you can do a midair jump like this. Because you didn't leave the ground by jumping, so that means you still have your jump. Now, whenever you get lifted up by a bomb and you unmorph, you drop like a rocket almost immediately. So what I prefer to do is to unmorph first, and then I still have my extra jump like this. Now, if you're trying to bomb jump, if you move even slightly to the side after you place your bomb, you get bounced to the left or right, and you don't really get that much height. So make sure you don't move sideways. This is actually how you do the best way to get up from here. If you're watching high-level speedruns, you'll see people do this flick and get up there. That's frame perfect, and so it's very hard to pull off, and it saves you about half a second. So unless you're going for world record, I recommend you just do a bomb jump there. you'll notice that if I place a bomb immediately after morphing, it has some extra height to it, and that helps me jump higher up. If I place it down here, it still works, but it doesn't give me that extra height. Now, just like unmorph jumps, these jumps are unreliable when it comes to height. So, yeah, if you do it at the same interval every time, you're going to get the same jump every time. That's my impression, anyway. Not sure how it works, but I like to wait a little bit before I jump to get a good jump, get a good height out of it. You can do a double bomb jump, maybe like this, and get extra height. It's hard to do it consistently. I don't know the ins and outs of double or triple bomb jumps, and so I can't show you. I'm sorry. Good luck. Now, one more interesting thing about bombs is that even though your own bombs don't damage you, they do give you iframes. So you can use your bombs to... Oh, see there? I moved a little bit. You can use your bombs to move through enemies, like this. Now for everyone's least part of the game, the sand. If you're... because jumping out of sand can be hard. It's you don't get the same height every time, and it's frustrating. The thing that is consistent though is that if you're standing on the bottom of the sand like this, you're always going to reach to clear a 2-tile height like this. So if this is the height you need to go, just let yourself sink down in the sand, jump up, do a full jump, and you're up there. If you need to clear a 3-tile height like this, and you have bombs, the best way to do it is to do a bomb jump. You can even clear 4 tiles with this, with some consistency. So I like to wait a little bit, and you place a bomb high in the middle of your unmorph like I showed you earlier, and then you jump up there. If you don't have bombs, and you need to clear 3 or more tile height, my best bet is to unmorph and then wait a split second and then do a jump. It's not consistent, but you're going to get it in a couple of tries. If you're going higher than that, yeah, good luck. Now, what I see a lot of people do on their first playthroughs is they get down here, they get stuck under a corner, and you start panic jumping like this. If you're standing under a tile in sand and you're jumping, you're not moving sideways at all. You get stuck like this, and then you get hit with a bug. You don't get out, and you die. If you get stuck in sand under a tile like this, take it easy, walk out, and then you jump up. Just walk out of there. The same thing applies if you're getting stuck under something that's even lower. Let's say you've frozen an enemy or a Rinka and you're stuck underneath it. Take a deep breath, roll to a ball, move sideways, and you get out. Don't panic jump, it'll kill you every time. The last thing to note about sand, there are a lot of things too. One thing you can do is to jump on top of sand right here, and if you do it well, it doesn't really damage you that much. And it's not slow either, so it's actually a legitimate strategy for some of these rooms. Notice how this looks clumsy, like nobody wants to take a sand or lava dive like this, but it's quick and it doesn't really damage you that much. When you're jumping out of sand, you have When you're jumping out of sand, you have iframes too, so you can avoid the flies. You can just jump through them like this with small jumps. And you're not getting hit at all. Of course, the best way to get up is the bomb jump. Now, you're not losing much time and you're not taking much damage this way. It just feels bad to do. That's it. Last thing to cover that I can think of is screw attack. Just like Ice Beam, when you get screw attack, you're super thrilled about it, and then you discover its limitations. You cannot jump on top of enemies with the screw attack. It never works. Never works. Because Samus will stop spinning a moment before she hits the ground. So if I'm trying to jump on top of these, if I'm trying to jump on top of an enemy that's the same height as me, it's never going to work. If I could just find one. Like this. See? It never works. Never works. So don't try doing it. The reason is that she stops spinning when she reaches the same height that you jumped from. Like this. And this applies to the regular spin jump as well. This also means that if I jump from a lower height, it works. Because she was going to spin all the way until she lands. But if I'm jumping from the same height as the enemy, I'm going to get hit every single time. So just stop trying. I see people do this a lot. It drives me crazy. Now, screw attack is also great for farming. If you get into an enemy with an area with lots of bats or swoopers or Rios, you can go back and forth and farm these spots. But not enemies on the ground. It doesn't work. And I think that's everything I was planning to cover, so yeah, I hope you found something useful here. Enjoy.